forum is on casino gambling. And as many of you know, Illinois Governor Pat Quinn has not yet signed Senate Bill 744. If Governor Quinn signs the bill, the city of Chicago will be faced with an important decision about where a casino might be located within our city, what design it might have, what other programmatic elements might be an important part of designing such a structure, and how this building will relate to the infrastructure and the rest of the built environment of the city of Chicago.
Now, obviously, the issue of a casino is complex. In our time, we will not be able to get into all aspects of the casino. We're going to focus on where should it be and what should it look like. And with that, I throw it open to the panel. Who's the boldest here? Who's going to jump in and tell me, first of all, where should it be?
Frankly, the Thompson Center would make a phenomenal casino. It's a terrible office building.
Wait, what did you just say?
The Thompson Center. Thompson Center is perhaps shocking, but it's actually a phenomenal location right in the heart of the city, right in the heart of the theater district, right in the heart of the retail.
One would be the old post office.
Yes.
It,
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Architecturally, it's potentially very attractive.
Yeah.
It has, of course, an enormous volume of space inside of it. It's right on the Chicago River.
The concern you're going to have is that you might hear a giant sucking sound off of State Street, Michigan Avenue, or everywhere else, because all those restaurants are going to be dying because guess what? The draw is going to be these 50, 60,000 people going into the casino.
I think you overestimate, I think, what the casino will do all by itself versus what's already here in Chicago.
The one thing you don't want to do is have it isolated, out by itself with a giant parking lot around it, because then it won't really help the convention business. It really won't help the regular businesses and theaters and other things that are in Chicago.
With applause, who would like to see it at McCormick Place? Not so many, not so many. Trump Tower, any thought about that?
No thoughts at all.
No? Okay.
I'm less concerned at this point in time than picking particular sites, but with the process. I mean, how is this done? How involved will citizens be? The hope was expressed that this would be a business and civic-led enterprise, and I hope that's the case because, since I've lived here for 20 years, I can't think of a major initiative that hasn't been driven by City Hall.
The continual discussion about the post office was something that was pretty interesting. I think that's kind of one of the big eyesores in the city and something that hasn't necessarily had a feasible solution to kind of solving the problem of what to do with that space, and obviously we talked about that a lot.
I was very surprised at how much, I think, sort of predisposition there was for a downtown location, and that really surprised me.
Casinos come in many shapes and forms and designs, and some are frankly very tacky, and others are extremely elegant. What do we want here in Chicago? What's the best kind of casino for us?
We want whatever Chicago typically would build. I mean, I think Chicago is a historic city. It's an architectural city like no other.
If it goes in an existing building, then you reduce the danger of having garish, crappy, what amounts to temporary architecture.
I would want it to be something really special, even something you dress up for. I'd want it to be elegant.
The idea that this would be the iconic, like the Bean or something, the odds are that's not going to happen because the architecture of casinos is really meant to be inside.
Unfortunately, I see Navy Pier. I mean, I think if we're centering this at tourists, it's going to, without some sort of deliberate creative process, it's going to end up being Chain City.
You're unlikely to end up with good architecture. It's likely to be garish. It's likely to be cheap, ugly. The materials that'll be used won't be good. So you're better off with an old building. Adaptively reuse that building.
How can we plan so that the casino benefits Chicago's neighborhoods and not only downtown?
At the very least, I think there needs to be debates, conversations about this in the neighborhoods and not just downtown. So this isn't just perceived as a conversation among insiders. There's always a mentality around here, it seems like, when a big project comes in, that everything is going to be new, and that the people who already have been doing this for a long time, they don't matter nearly as much. And I really hope that as this conversation goes forward, that we're going to think about lifting up the businesses who already have been doing this for a long time, and not simply bring in a bunch of chains and outsiders to come in here and, you know, bring a little taste of Las Vegas to downtown.
I will agree with you that we've got the best neighborhood here in the world, but I would challenge you to tell me what's playing tonight at the Cadillac, or at the Ford, or at the Auditorium, or any of those places. Nothing, by the way. I mean, if you make the Heart a much stronger place, much more dynamic, you're going to help the neighborhoods.
Ideally, this isn't just imported material from another city. I mean, that's my bigger point.
I think that this question of how it can help neighborhoods was up for grabs. I don't think anybody made those connections.
I think the location is separate from how, you know, the spoils are divided up. And as we're having this conversation, we need to make sure that this truly is a city project, and that, again, the residents of Chicago and their communities are going to benefit from it.
I think the opportunity here is to think of downtown as an enhanced destination, as an urban entertainment center. That's not just a casino, but it's art museums, it's everything else, but you've got more people coming to it, and you've got streets that are active and filled, and you've got a retail heart of the downtown that the office worker shops at, and it's thriving and healthy.
One of the things about the post office site would be that we ought to have a river walk, which people use. And it wouldn't be just about a casino, but it'd be a way to help finance it and to make a vast, extraordinary improvement in downtown Chicago. But I can imagine other improvements to the city that really have to be made to make that site work best.
For all of its problems, downtown still is a functioning place. People live here, people work here. So I hope that the way this is done isn't done in such a way so that it sort of swallows up downtown or swallows up our city in some way.
This shouldn't be the iconic symbol of the city. This should be a background building. We should do it more subtly. People that want to gamble will find it. The people that manage it will market it, and it should fit into the Chicago we know.
I've learned a lot. I have opened my mind to some new possibilities, things that I didn't think I would possibly support, but I think I have. Casino is a very complex issue, and but our debate was about how it can add to the urban fabric and make Chicago even more Chicago. I think we did an excellent job at that. So I would really, truly like to thank Mick Dumke, Dennis Judd, John Norquist, and Kim Galuska.